Happier though. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing? Especially you, Morgaware. I'd read that to make sure I was pronouncing it right. Morgaware. Sent in this video right here about Cyclone Tracy. And I have heard of Cyclone Tracy, specifically that it happened on Christmas Day, which is wild. That's part of what makes it, it's very memorable. Because that is a tragedy to happen on, and especially to happen on Christmas Day. That's wild. So I'm definitely looking forward to reacting to this and learning more about it. See what transpired that fateful day. That must be the alarm. Very eerie.
A cyclone is imminent. We present this advice from the Darwin Weather Bureau and the Northern Territory Emergency Services Organisation as a community service for top-end listeners. Make sure your communications are secure.
Wow.
Check your transistor...
I don't know exactly what differentiates a cyclone from like a hurricane. I don't know why they... Yeah, I don't know the difference. I'll have to look that up. This doesn't look like the coast. Obviously, Darwin is situated on the coast, so I guess it is.
To radio and spare batteries, keep tuned to radio or television news broadcasts. Anything on your property that could be a wind-borne missile, including rubbish tins, outdoor furniture, dead branches, toys and tools, should be anchored or taken inside.
Wow.
Store drinking water in...
Did he say a windfall missile? That's crazy how you have to think of just any random object lying around could turn into a missile.
Bathtubs and bottles, and check emergency supplies and tools. You may also need water for firefighting. See if neighbors need help. Lock up pets. When a cyclone comes, remain calm and stay inside.
Holy shit. The destruction here is... It's just... I mean, it looks like a landfill.
Keep a window open on the side away from the wind, and remember if the wind drops suddenly, the calm eye of the cyclone is probably overhead, as the winds will soon resume abruptly with equal violence from another direction.
Where's all the people? I guess all the people have evacuated. Oh, poor puppy. Jeez. This reminds me of like Hurricane Katrina type stuff. It's interesting, so many of these houses, are they built on stilts like this, or I guess that's what it is. They're built on top of these stilts for flooding. So much twisted metal just blown and lying everywhere.
In the morning, I thought just bombs had hit the place.
I don't know if that's from like rooftops or siding on houses. Some kind of like twisted aluminum siding.
Bombs couldn't do any more wreckage. And we drove round and, I said afterwards that we were better off than others outside because there was just nothing. They've just lost everything. I didn't think any of us would be here in the morning. I honestly didn't.
You don't know me, and you won't see me in this film. But I was sent up to Darwin 2 days after the cyclone hit to cover and record the extent of the devastation and the effect of the disaster on people's lives. Frankly, I don't think that I've been very successful. What could I have filmed that could really communicate to you the almost inconceivable extent of the destruction?
I think he's doing a fine job. This is crazy. It's always bizarre when you see the one thing left standing. This is the type, this reminds me also of a tornado. Tornadoes come through here in Indiana, and they leave a path of destruction like this in their wake. And it's bizarre when you see photos and you see just the one thing that's left standing. A tie rack. Okay. How those didn't get blown off there, Lord knows.
How can I help you to understand the feelings of this city's population who emerged from what was left of their houses on Boxing Day to find their world destroyed?
Boxing Day. That's the day after Christmas, right? I wonder what he means they emerged. I would have assumed they evacuated before the cyclone hit. Because Morgaware, who sent in the video, says only 70 people were killed, which is a tragedy, but also pretty wild that in such massive destruction, relatively low amount of casualties. So they had to have evacuated before the cyclone hit.
From what was left. How can I help you to understand the feelings of this city's population who emerged from what was left of their houses on Boxing Day to find their world destroyed? Their city was like a rubbish dump, and they had nothing left.
And this is in the days of, physical records. It's wild to think about that. It's way before the cloud. And personal computers. So all your records are on file, and it's devastating. That's, one of the most important things. You gotta go get your records. And let alone all the photos and history, family history lost. Most Australian man looking. Most Australian looking man ever. Just pointing that out. It's just a fact. He is. Jesus. Darwin Cinema. Gone with the Wind. Starring Cyclone Tracy. Some kind of morbid humor here. Toilet.
For a few days,
I don't like seeing children's toys in the revel. That's too disturbing. It's like my room right here. That's pretty much all that's in this house is children's toys. If this thing got hit by a tornado, they would think it was a Toys R Us. They'd say, Toys R Us must have been standing here.
For a few days, they had no safe water, no certain food, few possessions except for the clothes they were wearing. But now things are getting better. They're cleaning up the mess and sorting themselves out. Even so, no one really knows what the future holds for them.
Well, I'm from the future. Blah. I happen to be from the future, and I'll let you know. You guys bounced back, which is remarkable. I don't understand. It's amazing. Humans are pretty amazing sometimes. The whole freaking thing gets flattened to the earth. And in no time. I mean, it does take some time. But in just a couple decades. Actually, I don't know how long it took you to build it back, but I know now it's beautiful. So, it's pretty amazing. I just got the idea to look up Darwin, Australia population. I'm just curious to see a graph. Ooh, here's all sorts of stuff. I'm just looking for a population graph. Can we not go back further? Come on. Take me back further. I was hoping to see, how the population changed in that time period. Obviously, you can see right here, it did very well after the year 2000. Was there really only 100,000 people in Darwin in 2000? And there's still only 150? I know I said something similar to that just a couple weeks ago, but I don't comprehend that. Because I think of Darwin as being a big city. I mean, that's not like tiny, but it's not huge. Oh my goodness. Okay, I thought he was snipping a power line. Jesus. Those are some monstrous snippers. It's amazing the community effort you see after a disaster like this, where everybody does go out. It's like that warning you heard. Go out and check on your neighbors. People actually do.
The ice is back on.
Everyone's just marvellous, I think. Everyone's got in and helped and given things, and it's just tremendous.
Ice.
It is. It's tremendous what everyone's done, I think. We started off in
Australians are so cool. I don't even know what it is. Everyone here, the hair, especially these vintage Australians. They're just cool.
bedroom, and I said to my husband, what's that? And he said, it's only the wind going through the eaves, but it was the roof going, just didn't want to frighten me, I suppose. And then more came. We moved to the bathroom, which had just gone. So then we moved to the third bedroom and just huddled against the wall and just stayed there the night sort of thing, and that was it. Just hoped for the best and just prayed, and that, I suppose everyone's in the same boat.
These few scenes can't really let you know what it's like up there.
It must really be quite fascinating to exist through this, you know what I mean? You go from having a normal life with a day job, you wake up, and it's like, okay, the whole city's plowed down. You know what I mean? It's like, I guess I'm not going into work. I'm just headed outside, and me and the boys are going to clean up. I don't know. It's interesting. It's like a freaking zombie apocalypse. It would certainly be interesting to live through.
The fact is that the people of a city have lost everything. And I feel that somehow we all have to try to understand what that means.
Christmas decorations. That's really the first indication I've seen that it was Christmas. I'm not sure how much warning you get about a cyclone approaching. With a hurricane, you know far in advance. Wow. Merry Christmas.
I've got one suitcase, that's a whole lot of our clothes. I've got one pair of shoes, that's it. The others are just gone.
What about the kids?
Well, they've got what they stand up, and I've got a little bit of underwear and a little bit what we could salvage and a few old frocks, and that'll do us. I'm for sure that people will rally and help us all.
I do have to point out it's kind of interesting because I've never seen houses on stilts before and people parking underneath their house. It's kind of Kind of cool. Totally irrelevant to what we're watching, but I saw a car parked underneath his house. I've seen, like, there's a few, and that's interesting.
Well, they've got what they're staying at, and I've got a little bit of underwear and a little bit what we could salvage and a few old frocks, and that'll do us. I'm for sure that people will rally and help us all.
But it's such a mess. I truly want to stay with my husband. I've got to go with my boy. But
I can't imagine having kids, especially a baby, in these conditions. I have no idea what you would do.
Crying for me. I was crying to Darwin.
They've just got to pioneer again and start from scratch.
And here's the latest cyclone warning, number 17, issued by the Darwin Tropical Cyclone Warning Centre at 4 p.m. this afternoon. Severe tropical cyclone Tracy was centred 80 kilometres west-northwesterly of Darwin and moving southeasterly at 7 kilometres per hour. The centre is expected to be near Gross Island about midnight this evening. Very destructive winds of 120 kilometres per hour with gusts of 150 kilometres per hour are expected between Darwin and the Piron Islands tonight and tomorrow morning. The next warning will be issued at 7 p.m. this evening.
Wow. That was wild. Go check out NFSA Films. I mean, I assume that's this says Film Australia, you know. I don't know if that's these people. But go check them out, link down below. Crazy. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And shout out to anybody from Darwin. Goodbye.